how do we deal with some of these privacy concerns, right? And what do we need to do, or what can we do to increase the overall security of private data? So the first thing is to keep in mind that you can't have one kind of without the other. Remember, like I said, they go hand in hand with each other. So that means you have to kind of understand that in order for me to begin to ensure your data privacy, I have to understand the technology available to me to make that happen, right? So there are only a few, really only a few pieces of technology that you would really need to be concerned with as far as this is concerned. Not to say there's only a few products, right? But at the end of the day, if I'm worried about privacy, the only products that I can select are products that encourage or enable some type of encryption to it, right? So how is this being done? Well, let's just take credit cards, for instance. When you go to a store and you make a purchase, and there are a couple things that you are implicitly permitting. First, you have implied trust. You're going to trust the merchant. You're going to trust the banking agents that will be involved in that transaction. And you're also trusting all of those same agents, not only with the protection of your data, but the protection from misuse of your data. In other words, you're trusting them to protect the data that you have provided, and also to not sell your data to someone else without your explicit permission. So that's the beginning mechanism of the how, right? That technology must be able to assure and ensure a couple things. And those are the two primary pieces of it. So, at that point, now you see and get into some of the back end parts of this, and how do we ensure that those mechanisms are working correctly, and what are the regulations or the best practices and things like that that need to be working on the back end side to ensure that those two implicit permissions have been satisfied. And really that comes down to what are we using, what technologies are we using to ensure that it's happening, and what mechanisms have we put in place, such as auditing, regular vulnerability scans, someone keeping an eye on what are the privacy laws that, we have to comply with here and there, right? All of these things, right, is the backside, of that beginning implicit set of permissions that you have offered to that merchant. So that gets us started. Now, like we said, technology cannot be the lone savior here. There are some things that cannot be ensured by just simply using technology, because most all procedures have what we call a human in the loop. And as long as you have a human in the loop, you're going to have a raised risk profile, right? People make mistakes. People, when they're working a 12-hour shift and they're tired and they're not as sharp as they were, at 9 a.m., they forget to do something, they forget to put a file away, or they forget to, lock a door, and then unauthorized access begins to creep in, right? So you can't be lulled to sleep that technology is going to fix it all for me, because technology cannot read the laws for you, for instance. You have to stay abreast of those laws and what things are permissible and not permissible to manage the overall privacy and security within your own organization.